Our administration believes that there are loopholes that could allow the cloning of human beings if the technology were developed.
What?
Our administration believes that there are loopholes that could allow the cloning of human beings if the technology were developed.
What? There's a video. What's it look like?
So Scientology is a lesser religion than any other religion, right?
Even aliens.
Me and Kid Cudi are aliens right here, bro.
Well, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
They get up to 7 and 8 feet tall. They're the long neck, gray looking things that Phil Schneider guy was talking about. He went on blast telling everybody about them, and nobody believed him. Well, a lot of people did, but it's too late because they killed him.
I was involved in building another base inside of Dulce, New Mexico, which is Los Alamos Laboratory. This was in late August of 1979. On the southwest part of the Archuleta Mesa, we built an underground facility, a better part of 3 cubic miles hollowed out underground. Then to the southwest of that, we were in the process of the early stages of building. We drilled 4 large tunnel-like holes. The first hole was sunk and all this soot came up. All the stinking air, all the black sooty air came right out. We drilled all 4 holes. It took about 2 days to drill all 4 of them. At that time, a number of the wells or drilling machines that were used kept coming up broken. So we wanted to go down and we wanted to send somebody down there to find out what was going on. I was lowered down the basket of one of these holes and was sitting a 7-foot tall alien gray. The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. The entity was absolutely horrible. I didn't waste any time. I reached for my pistol and I killed 2 of them. In the process, one of them just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish. All I remember was the smoking remains, and I'm still conscious, but in and out of, I didn't remember much. And there was a Green Beret that was right behind me that risked his life. In fact, he died. But he risked his life. He shoved me back in the basket and hit the button and took me up. I wouldn't be alive talking to you today if it wasn't for him.
These lizards have a unique biological property of their bodies.
The lizards have what's called a proboscis.
It's an ejectable brain and spinal column.
The small ones they use to drone people, because the proboscis on young lizard type 1s, they're small enough to go into an eye and not ruin the eye, because they're supposed to do this to animals with bigger eyeballs, probably friggin' dinosaurs.
They parasite a human's brain. This top cap thing on the top of their head comes out. They can do this once in their life. It pulls their spinal column along with it. The human would have to be restrained or unconscious.
The thing swiggles in through the eye. It does a spiral around the optic nerve all the way to a certain point, and it's driven there by taste. And they said once it gets there, it has the taste of butterscotch. It then starts what they call sweating the quill. The spinal cord stuff comes out of the spinal cord, and it's everything that the lizard is. The lizard's whole body is dead, and it can't go back in. It's one way.
The juice that's in the spinal cord gets excreted out of the tip of this thing. They're parasitic cells. The parasitic cells go into the brain.
The old person's consciousness is gone. The body is absolutely, totally dominated, and the lizard is smarter as a human. Over time, it'll develop a rash, it'll lose its hair.
And they're actually deficient. They're dumber than the original person.
And they mimic human behavior. It knows that its life is dependent on it mimicking human behavior, so it does really well. Even with other animals, it's smart enough to instinctually mimic the animal's behavior. The drones of 100 years ago erased any existence of these real lizards from Egyptian carvings on walls. They would smash them, or books that had anything in them about them, they would burn them.
There's 3 types.
There's a 1 to 1.5 foot tall one. That's the real type 1.
The type 1s are covered in red diamond shaped scales. Real type 1s are real dumb.
Little dragons, those are the real type 1.
There's a type 2 that is not parasitic, but it's still vicious, nasty, carnivorous. They're all carnivorous.
Vril type 2 are a little smarter.
And there's a type 3 that's 8 feet tall, has a real long neck, and looks like a gray alien.
And Vril type 3 run the previous two kinds.